In today's video, we're going to be discussing what it's like to travel as a blind person. Come with us, let's go enjoy the beach and we'll discuss it. Hey, it's great to see you again. Welcome back to the channel, Blind to Billionaire. Thank you for joining me here at the beach. So today I'm going to be discussing what it's like to travel as a blind person. As I mentioned, I'm actually sitting here on Eagle Beach in Aruba. Today is December 10th, 2018, and Corey's here with me, and she's actually behind the camera, and we decided we're just going to shoot a video right here on the beach, and I'm going to have her actually just pan the beach and ocean so you can enjoy that while I discuss the topic for the day, because I'm sure you want to look at the beach probably more than you want to look at me. But anyway, like I said, Aruba, it's absolutely beautiful here. It's about 82, 83 degrees, sunny, and the beach is perfect. We love it. So getting on to topic, as far as what is it like to travel as a blind person? Actually, let me digress for just a second. I need to apologize in advance if there's any bursts of wind, if there's any wind noise in the mic. It's actually fairly windy here in Aruba, so I'm doing my best to keep the wind out of the mic, but I apologize in advance if it gets a little bit loud at times. So what is it like to travel as a blind person? I'm going to run through kind of the sequence of events as far as booking the travel all the way to actually arriving at the destination and spending time at the destination. So for us, booking travel is actually relatively easy. You can do it in a variety of different ways. And for me, I've actually booked quite a bit of travel, and for me, I do it all over the phone. And what I'll actually do is I'll call typically like a travel agency. By travel agency, I mean someone like an Expedia or Priceline, someone like that that's easy to work with, or directly when we book cruises, we can book directly through the cruise line. So what I'll do is I'll actually call them and I'll ask all the questions that I could ever possibly have, and I'll ask the representative all of these questions, and then if I'm ready to book, we can pick out the dates and the destination and itinerary and exactly everything you want to do right there over the phone. So it's very easy. There's nothing that you need to see visually in order to book travel. The only thing is, as far as collecting payment, they may want a credit card number right over the phone, and the way that I do that is I actually memorize all of my card numbers. So that's just how I do it, and there might be other options for people who may not want to memorize their credit card numbers, but that's just how I elect to do it. But anyway, booking is actually relatively easy because everything can just be done over the phone, and it's pretty easy. As far as air travel, like the flight, if you're flying somewhere that you're going to be visiting, same thing. You can call any of these places, Expedia, Priceline, any of these vendors like that, or you can call the airline directly, and they can walk you through the booking process. They can actually do it right there on the phone with you. They collect all of your information, they collect payment, and they can set up the date and the times that you would like to travel and the destination, the return flights, everything can all be done right over the phone. So again, it's relatively easy, and if you're blind or visually impaired, it's something that I feel like everybody can do pretty easily. Would you agree with that, Corey?
I definitely would.
Okay.
I feel like booking travel is something that, especially I think a lot of people have smart devices of some kind too. Mm-hmm. But the people we found on the phone are really, really helpful in booking travel. And also, you should mention, Matt, if you're visually impaired, if you need any assistance.
Yep. Even if you don't need assistance, I would also recommend, when you're on the phone with these people booking travel, whether it's hotels or any transportation from the airport to your hotel, or even with the airline, I would suggest telling them that you're blind or visually impaired, and they'll actually notate it right there on your account, whether it's the reservation for your hotel or your airline ticket, and they are incredibly helpful and accommodating when they see that election right on there. It also helps at the airport when you're going through security, when you have that election on your boarding pass and they see that, the BLND, that's typically, I think, how it's notated on the boarding pass, but they're definitely very accommodating and helpful. So
something else I would recommend doing that Matt and I have found helpful is we travel places sometimes that English isn't the language of the country. So we've learned how to say I am blind or my spouse is blind in Spanish. And so that has actually made security and customs a lot easier, because before I'd try and like mime what was going on, or I'd say it in English and there was a lot of confusion. And the second he has his cane and we just say like, mi esposo es ciego or yo soy ciego, it just makes a huge difference, and it's quick and easy, and they just like help you so much.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really great point too. So most of the places that we travel that are non-English speaking are typically Spanish speaking, and so we just learned the very simple phrase of how to say I am blind or my spouse is blind in Spanish, so that we can actually communicate with them in their language so that they understand what's going on, because ultimately we are visiting their country. We should speak their language so that it's easy for them to understand too. So moving on to the actual airport, I've talked about this in a few different videos, but when I go to the airport, I always have my cane out the whole time. And the reason for that is not so much that I'm using it, because I have Corey right there. She's helping me navigate the airport and get through everything that I need to do. But I mostly have it out for just for the reason that when we're navigating through the airport, there's a lot of congestion, a lot of people, a lot of luggage. And I would say I bump into people and luggage constantly when we're at the airport. But again, like I've mentioned this in other videos, I let the cane do the talking. And when people look over at me after I bump into their suitcase and they see the cane, no questions are asked, everything's just fine. But previously in my life, when I've traveled without a cane and I'm in the airport and I bump into somebody or I trip on a suitcase, people say something or they look at me weird, or there's just a lot of questions. So I always have that cane out and let it do the talking, especially when we go through security. When we're in the security line or we're approaching it, typically there's an agent somewhere at the beginning of the line. They'll actually point us and direct us to, what do they call that? It's not it's like a wheelchair line.
Maybe like a wheelchair line, or like maybe like an accessibility line.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, they call it something different. Depending on where you are, whether it's somewhere in the U.S. or other countries, they have different names for it, but they typically always have a separate line. And sometimes it's called like a wheelchair line, accessibility line.
You know what? And I think, this is my opinion, but I feel like we've even gone with the cane. We'll like walk into like priority line or first class line, and we never have anyone be like, you're not in first class, because they just are like happy to help you. Because we find that going through the roped off areas is super challenging, because they're skinny and there's a lot of like hairpin turns. And usually a priority line or first class line or the accessibility line is a straighter shot, and it's a lot more comfortable to go through.
Yeah, exactly. So we've done that quite a few times, where we'll walk right through the first class line, or they'll even direct us to go through it, and it's not a big deal, and they're always very helpful. So I would always recommend, if you're going through the airport, have your cane out, and don't be afraid to just let people see it, and don't be intimidated with it, even though it can be easy to do, because I still struggle pulling it out sometimes, just because it's sometimes intimidating to have it out. And but anyway, so going through the airport, always have the cane out, and just let the people help you. They're very accommodating in the airport, I would say.
Also, you can board their flight early.
Oh yeah, one other point. When you're at your gate, they always have pre-boarding for anybody that needs, they always say pre-boarding for people that need extra time. So we always board during that time. You board before anybody else, before first class. You're literally like the first people on the plane. So I would recommend doing that too. You don't have to stand in the line and navigate around the congestion of people and their carry-on bags.
Another thing I would mention as a sighted partner, and this is something that Matt and I both struggle with, but me especially, is being patient in the airport. If we need to take extra time to get put together after security, or I feel like there's a rush around us, we just need to take our time, and that makes the experience better. When I feel like, or when Matt feels rushed and when I feel like I'm rushing, then that makes it more challenging in the airport. So I think that no matter where you are, probably not when you're traveling or when you're traveling, if you just let yourself get like rushed around feeling and like panicky kind of, not panicky, but like rushed feeling, if you start rushing around, then it makes the experience worse for both of us.
Yeah, exactly. And just
allow yourself time. Like, don't rush.
And the airport is, I would say, somewhat just inherently stressful anyway.
Yeah, I think if you're with sighted people or not, it's stressful in an airport.
Okay, so moving on. Okay, so at this point, we're walking through, we're boarding the plane. You go through your flight. Typically, the flight attendants will know because they've seen it on your boarding pass. But again, feel free to mention to them, hey, I'm blind. And they'll be extra helpful throughout the flight from the experiences we've had.
Something else, when you get off the plane and you are getting transportation, something to be really careful of is when you're getting in and out of like a van, a bus. It's oftentimes different everywhere you go, the vehicle you're entering and exiting. So it's good to be, like, if you're the sighted partner, be really careful about verbalizations about ducking or stepping up. Actually, sometimes we found that that's helpful to have your cane during that time, just so that the driver's like extra good too with their helpfulness.
Yep.
Wouldn't you say that's true, Matt?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, so
then the hotel room.
And the hotel room. Yeah, we'll move on to that. Are you still giving them some
they're
ocean?
seeing the ocean.
Oh, good.
I hope that the picture's good. It's dark.
Yeah.
It's a little dark for me to see just because of the way that it's sunny out.
Because it's so bright out here, and yeah.
But let me just verbalize quick what you're seeing. So there's a really, really wide sand beach, which is fluffy white sand, very soft. And then the ocean is a blue turquoise, beautiful color. It's really, really long and wide. I'm primarily showing you like to the right of where we are just because of the sun. But what's really fun, I'm thinking that you guys are seeing a little bit, is jet skiers. They're going crazy out there, and so it's kind of fun to see maybe some jet skiers out in the ocean. It's just beautiful. And then I've panned up the beach a little bit.
Okay.
So that's all.
Good. And I'm trying to do my best to block the wind from the mic. It's just a constant roar of wind here behind us, as you've probably heard a few times, but I'm doing my best to block it, so I appreciate any just cooperation we have with the sound on this video. So moving on. So you're at your destination, you've arrived, and you're moving into your new hotel or place that you'll be staying for the duration of your vacation. So as I mentioned to Corey, typically the first day for me is a little bit stressful. Everything is new. I need to learn the layout of our room, find a place for me to be organized within the room to put all my stuff, and then outside of the room. So when we travel, we typically travel to beach destinations because that's what we love. We love spending time on the beach. And so after we get set up in our room, and I have some time to kind of feel my way around the room and learn the layout of everything and get my stuff organized in a way that makes sense for me for the next few days or week or however long we're going to be there, then we typically go out and start exploring the property. And what we'll do is we'll just literally start walking around for an hour or two and just learn the layout of everything. How do we get to the dining? How do we get to the beach? What's the situation with the beach chairs, and how do we reserve them, or how do we get them? Where's the pool? Where do we get towels? Everything like that. And we'll walk around, and I would say it takes me at least the first day, like the first 24 hours, to actually learn and get a pretty good feel for the layout. Is the property pretty level, or are there a lot of stairs and ramps everywhere that I'm going to be tripping on? And are there a lot of obstacles, or are the sidewalks nice and wide so that two people can pass each other without kind of shimming around each other? Are there low-hanging branches that I'm going to be walking and hitting my face on every day? So there's just a lot of obstacles that I need to learn as we navigate around the property. And I would say, like I said, probably a good 24 hours before I get a pretty good feel for the property to see, can I walk around comfortably without tripping on stairs every 6 steps? Can I walk without being hunched over because I'm going to get hit in the face with a stick every 5 feet? Any input on that, Corey?
Yeah, so as the sighted partner, I think something that I try and do to make it a little bit easier is that I will tell Matt, I'll take Matt on the exact same pattern to the places we're going. So if there's multiple routes to the same area, I try and take the same route every time we go somewhere so that he can start learning the route, and so that he knows, like, okay, we always go up 3 steps to get to the pool, or we always enter the pool in the same spot. I mean, I'm sure everybody's different, but I think that helps a little bit to kind of have a pattern. We don't deviate from the pattern when we're going to places. Does that make sense, Matt?
Yeah, I think so. And so, for example, the place that we're currently staying, the resort we're staying at now, I would say they're pretty good. It's relatively flat the whole way. The sidewalks are nice and wide. There are a couple short flights of stairs. When I say short, maybe like 5 steps each, and they're just little bridges that go over the top of the lazy river. So I know that if we have 5 steps, we're going to go up 5, we're going to go across a little bridge, and then we're going to go down 5, and then it's typically flat. We maybe go over 1 bridge per day, or maybe when we're going out and then coming back. So overall, the property we're staying at now, they actually do have quite a few ramps, which is surprising to me. And I always like a ramp over stairs because less likely to trip down it.
And we're staying on Palm Beach at Marriott Aruba Surf Club in Aruba.
So that's where we're staying, but we're actually spending the day today at Eagle Beach here in Aruba. We decided to change it up a little bit, decide to check this beach out. We were actually here about a month ago. We loved this beach and thought we'd just come back and spend the day here today. So Corey's still showing you the beach. It's just so nice here. The sand is perfect. The ocean is so nice. It's so much fun to play out in the waves. We were doing that earlier, and it's not that bad at all. I mean, you can be out in the water probably waist or chest deep, and the waves kind of come in and they just kind of swish you into shore, and then they kind of suck you back out. That sounds scary, but it's actually not. The waves kind of pull you back out, and then another one comes in and kind of pushes you right back into shore. So it's kind of fun. We really enjoy it.
Yeah, and that kind of segues too into like types of activities that you like on vacation, like things that are fun to do on vacation versus things that are stressful.
Yep. So I'll get into talking about more of the maybe the aspects of like what we enjoy doing or what I enjoy doing when I'm on vacation, and what it's like and how I experience it as a blind person. So as I've mentioned a few times now, we absolutely love spending time at the beach. And for me, what is important to me is having really nice, soft, fluffy sand. Because I like to do a lot of stuff in the sand. I like to lay in the sand, roll around in the sand sometimes, maybe make little sandmen. So back at home where we have a bunch of snow, we make snowmen there, but actually here I make sandmen. So I make little balls and then I stack them on top of each other.
We made snow angels in the sand
Snow
yesterday.
angels. Yeah, the sand here is so soft. It's just you just want to lay in it and roll around. So that's what we do.
We rolled around like puppies yesterday in the sand.
Yeah, so that's what we'll do. And we spend a lot of time just hanging out, laying in the sand or sitting in it. So having soft, fluffy sand is very important to me. I can't necessarily enjoy the color of it. I can see it a little bit right now. And by see it, I mean I can see that it's incredibly bright because the sun is shining on it, and I can just see a really bright reflection back at me. And so that's how I enjoy the color of it. I can't exactly tell you the color. I just know that it's bright. And Corey tells me that it's white. So, but I have seen white sand beaches in my life previously. But as far as the water goes, again, I like the water how it is here. It's not rough, but it's wavy enough that you can kind of play around in the waves and not be exhausted in 5 minutes because you're getting smacked around like some of the other destinations we've been in.
I know Matt kind of likes going to wild beaches where you can get smacked around a little bit because it is really fun to like be wild in the waves. But I think we both can kind of relax a little more when I know that he's like, I don't have to worry he's going to get like smacked in the face with a wave because the waves are gentle enough. So then I feel like when we're in the water, it's like really equal time. Like we're both experiencing the activity in a really, really similar way. And I think that makes it really fun for us. Or like if we go boogie boarding, like we all as like a group can just like enjoy it the same way, which is fun. And I think it's kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of a freedom time for you. Like when you're in the sand in the ocean, because there just really isn't obstacles.
Yeah, with the exception of people in the water, there's literally nothing for me to bump into. So it is, like Corey said, it's freedom time because I don't need someone there holding on to my hand the whole time. And
sorry, I just bumped you. Yeah, I think it's just a time where it just feels like Matt's the freest when he's in the ocean, which is maybe why we keep going to the ocean, because we both love it so much. But we find that this destination is really fun because it's such a sensory experience. You know, the temperature of the water, the feel of the waves, the feeling of the sand and the shells, the heat of the sun, the feel of the wind. We both experience the scents the same way. I mean, when we people watch, like, I describe the people around us or, like, the stuff that's happening. But a lot of times, like, Matt will know, like, a jet ski just drove by. I mean, clearly, like, because, you know, he knows what a jet ski sounds like. So I feel like it's really, there's a lot of sensory components that make this fun, even if you're low vision.
Yeah.
Versus if we went to, like, a museum without a curator or somebody to describe what's going on, you know, that's not as fun. Or, like, if we take... Like, if we're in the taxi and the taxi driver's not telling us what's going on around, and I'm not quick enough to say what's happening around us, it's not, like, fun to be in a taxi because he can't see, like, the trees or the ocean around us. So certain components of travel are boring for him and not fun. But, like, the beach is fun, the pool is fun.
Yep.
But we'd stay away from crowds in, like, congested areas.
Yeah, somewhat. But ultimately, it all comes down to what you enjoy. So we enjoy the beach and the ocean, but maybe you're someone who doesn't enjoy the beach and ocean, and you enjoy something more like...
like skiing.
Skiing, yeah, that's a good example. Yeah, skiing. Or maybe you enjoy going to Europe and looking at all of the...
ruins.
Yeah, is that what they call them?
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever, all the old stuff in Europe. Maybe that's something that you enjoy. But ultimately, it all comes down to traveling and doing something that you actually enjoy. So I think if you're actually pursuing something you enjoy, you don't need to have sight in order to enjoy it.
Yeah, actually, that was something we talked about before we made this video, too, is, like, the culture. I mean, we don't, you know, necessarily immerse ourselves completely in every culture we go into, but, like, we like to eat at kind of local places for food. So, like, there's this really awesome guy who we've chatted with for dinner, and we feel like we're learning about his culture a little bit. We're learning about, I don't know, just, like, Aruba, like, well, because that's where we are.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, so I feel like you don't need sight to experience another culture and to talk with somebody.
And just to give you a reference too, we said we're in Aruba. To give you a reference of where that is, it's about 30 miles north of Venezuela in South America. So it's very far south, just north of South America by about 30 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another thing, experiencing the culture. I realize I can't see, like, the structure and...
Like the architecture. You can't. You can't like.
I can't see the
architecture.
I can't see the architecture of everything here on the island, but I can experience the culture through the food when we go out each evening and eat at one of these local restaurants, and I can experience the culture through talking with all of the local people that we meet and talk to here, and every other island that we visit. So we talk to these people and we get to know them, and we actually talk to quite a few of them. So it's really interesting learning about them and their culture just through all of these conversations that we have. So that's how I experience the culture. It's not in the same way that somebody who's sighted does, but it's still really interesting to talk with all these people and get to know them and how they live their lives versus us back in the United States.
But one other thing that we really like about travel, too, is we like to talk to the other people who are traveling. And that's really fun because we learn so much about where else to travel or about other people's lives and circumstances. You know, everybody, I think, you know, we feel this way, but I think it's true for everyone. You know, everybody lives in sort of a bubble. You know, you talk to the same however many people each day, whether it's 2 people or 25 people a day. You know, you're kind of around the same people all the time. And when we travel, we get to meet people we never would have met, even the other travelers. And we love that because it's a way for us to connect socially to so many people.
Yeah, I would say,
like, love.
Exactly. I would definitely recommend when you're traveling, always talk to other travelers at your resort or wherever you are. Just start talking to people and just start asking them a bunch of questions. We do that a lot. And actually last night we ran into a couple in the hot tub, and we talked to them for probably an hour, and they had so much great information to share with us. It's unbelievable how much you learn from people, other travelers, when you're at a destination. Wouldn't you say? I mean, they gave us so many great recommendations last night on things to do, places to see, places to eat, where to go snorkeling, what beaches to go check out. I don't know, they gave us so much great information.
Well, they did, and what's cool too is when you travel, so like, let's say that you really like Rome, you know, going to Rome or Italy or something. You know, the people who are in Rome and Italy, those are the same people who want to be there. So you're there and they're there. You all have the same interests. So you can learn so much from people who, you know, are doing the same types of activities you are because you have the same interest level. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which is cool.
Yep.
It's just research. We really both enjoy research. Like I like travel research. That's my favorite thing to do, I think, in the last couple of years, is to just like research travel. And Matt and I both like talking to people and learning about other people and just like everything, you know, just anything. And seeing new places. And even though, so we've been to some different places, which has been really, really fun. And even though maybe they're all beaches, like, so we kind of always tease, like, Matt's in charge of determining if the sand is super nice, and I'm in charge of determining if the watercolor's super nice. So he is kind of our sand connoisseur, and I'm kind of the watercolor connoisseur. And so it's just a thing we both, like, chat about and enjoy. And I think that it's just, I don't know, I think everybody has something to bring to the table.
Yeah. So we could probably wrap this video up here soon.
Yeah, we probably should wrap it up.
It's getting a little bit long, but yeah, we decided to make this more of a discussion and just kind of talk you through this. We didn't exactly have too much of a structure for this video. We just thought, you know what, we're just going to go sit in the sand, start the recording, and just shoot a video, and hopefully you guys enjoy it and take some value out of this. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we also have to realize and just understand that just do what you enjoy, pursue what you're passionate about, and you may experience it a little bit differently than someone who is sighted, but at the same time, if you're doing what you are passionate about, like you said, or like I said earlier, if you absolutely love the beach and ocean, if you go there, you're going to enjoy it. I mean, if that's what you're passionate about, maybe you won't be able to see it, but you will be able to find other ways that you can experience it and still love doing what you're doing. Like me, I don't experience this from a visual standpoint, but I experience it in so many other ways, and I still absolutely love it. So I'm going to continue traveling.
Yeah, so just whatever you like to do. If you like music, listen to music. Maybe go to a concert sometimes. Experience live music. Maybe go to a coffee shop. I mean, whatever it is that you enjoy, it doesn't have to be travel. That's just our passion. No,
definitely not.
And then there's a variety of ways to experience it too, depending on finance. So, I mean, of course, you know, you just find what you like to do, and there's a way to make it happen.
Always. Yep, definitely. Just whatever you're passionate about. Everybody has passions, hobbies, interests. Discover what those are. Pursue it.
Yeah, because, like, we can't travel 100% of the time. So when we're not traveling, we're researching because we enjoy that. I mean, not equally. I mean, this is honestly, like, the best is just being here. But the thing is, like, when we can't be here, we enjoy reading about it. We watch a ton of YouTube videos about travel. So
exactly.
There's different ways.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks to all of you for joining us on the beach here in Aruba. It's been a really fun day talking with you, sharing some of our thoughts and suggestions. But yeah, here's just another look around. I mean, we've been looking at it for quite a while now, but yeah, it's just so nice here. But anyway, we'll probably bring you another video tomorrow, again, from maybe this beach, maybe Palm Beach. I'm not sure. We'll be at a beach. I know you that much.
We'll be at Boca Catalina.
Oh yeah, we're going to be snorkeling tomorrow. So yeah, anyway, thanks again for watching this. We really do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. That would mean a lot to us. Otherwise, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below, and we always do answer every comment that comes into us, and we just really enjoy connecting with all of you. It really means a lot to all of us. Or to Corey and I mean.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks again for joining us here on the beach, Eagle Beach, on the island of Aruba. So we'll see you again probably tomorrow. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye now.
Thank you.